Flashback.
Anyway, it was just my observation that perhaps, and again, this is just kind of an example of how that phone call ended up with you and your sister, and we all know how the phone call ended. I did not hear any threats, but again, your denial that this event even happened, and continue to deny that it even happened, even though you're saying you're taking responsibility. If you deny it happened, there were apparently, according to your sister, according to your mother, there were witnesses to this incident, and they believe that you don't remember it because you were in some kind of drug-induced event. So, and maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I am going to do what I said I was going to do. Mr. McDaniel, see this creates a problem for.
Y'all are saying stuff that ain't true, Your Honor. I drug test every week at Hill Space. I wasn't on drugs. If you read the 4 statements, they all say different things. Only one person said I committed.
Shut up. Shut up.
Which is a lot more than a no contact order, because that's criminal. This is just, you know what I mean?
I do.
So, and also if you read that statement, what you have, and you go back to our statements that we had of the case, totally different statements. That would tell you right there that Allison Coulter, your witness, lied because Sherry's telling you that she lied, along with Sherry.
Whoa. Who's Allison? Who?
Coulter. That's the witness of this case that made this case criminal. Sherry says that her niece, that's her niece was witness to the whole thing. Her niece is the one that said I had a knife and all types of stuff, and I did a bunch of stuff that I didn't do. And you recall I said that in court. So I just want the court to understand that this whole thing is being blown way out of proportion. And now my mom is wanting a 10-year TPO, which I absolutely don't have a problem with. I just have a problem with her being the one who called Hill Space.
I thought your sister called Hill Space.
My mom called Hill Space upon me coming to jail and told them that I was not getting out of jail anytime soon to donate all my property.
Okay.
I used the peer support.
But you knew, hang on a second, that fact that your property was gone, you knew before you even left here.
No, my sister said on a recorded line that it was secure and it was in storage until I got out.
But I thought you were angry.
But I used peer support.
Let me ask you a question, okay, and I'll let you respond.
Go ahead.
When you were before me the last time at sentencing, you were angry that your family did not go up and pick up your personal belongings.
Correct.
So you knew they hadn't got you, that they didn't get it.
Right, but they were lying to me, Your Honor. They were saying that it was secure, and then when I called them myself through the peer support in the same day, and she picked up, and she said, no, they assured me it was safe. So I went back to Hill Space on my request, and you allowed me to, and all I asked them was, I said, are you saying that the victim called you guys who had no ROI, had no emergency contact? 2 minutes after I said that, they said there's a problem with housing. You need to leave. I said my judge sent me here. I can't leave. They said, so you want me to call the police? I said, yes, call the police. I sat down and I waited till the police came. I never got irate. I never raised my voice. The only thing I spoke to the man named Rico, he's the gentleman that was there. I said, what would be acceptable in this situation is you take me to Walmart and get me my essentials, and you help me get donated clothes that you did before. They refused to do that. So I stayed there and waited to the police, and the police took me in custody, saying that I reached out to the victim. My phone didn't even work, Your Honor. And whatever number they're using, I don't have that number. I have a Google Voice number,
Because I had issued a warrant for your arrest.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That's why you were arrested. It had nothing to do with the no contact order at that time. You were arrested on my order.
What did I do for you to order that?
You were being rejected from Hill Space.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I have no problem with that, and that's why I didn't leave there.
Let me read to you what this says, and this is from Hill Space.
Okay.
Jeffrey McDaniel arrived at Hill Space Recovery Housing to complete his intake. Upon arrival, he became upset after learning that his personal belongings from a previous stay had been donated, as outlined in our policy, and then they go on about their policy, 7
Right.
days. Following this, Jeffrey became increasingly agitated and began making threats of physical harm toward both residents and staff.
If I did that, Your Honor, the police, I know what they're saying. They're covering up because I didn't fill out any paperwork for that policy to be in effect, and they knew that. I promise you, the police came and the police called my probation officer with the information that I gave them so they could contact her. I never threatened anybody, never did anything. All I said was, how are we going to fix this? Very calmly. I sat down. I even was speaking to the residents. One of the residents let me use their phone charger because my sister has my phone charger. There was no any animosity towards anybody there. Those are people in recovery, and I appreciate people in recovery. I was getting ready to get my peer support before I was locked up. I never would threaten anybody in recovery, nor would I threaten anybody in that regards at all. And if I did, I would have got an aggravated menacing charge, because that's what aggravated menacing is. Why did I not get charged with it if I did it? And when I got there at 1:47 from the Uber, and I left they asked me to pee in a cup. I couldn't pee because I used the restroom as soon as I got there. I got in the van with the man named Josh and went to their other facility. There was no time for me to become irate. There was no time for me to even talk. I talked to Shelby like we're talking now. You know, I said, Shelby, is my stuff in storage? She said, I don't know, miss. I don't know, Jeffrey. I said, okay, I'll ask Rico or whoever's over there when I get over there. And I went over there and I asked Rico, and he said, that stuff's been gone. I said, and Rick doesn't work here anymore, but that was the peer support at the time. He called 2 different times and talked to Shelby both, and I talked to Shelby both times on speakerphone. Hillspace is covering for their mistake, which is fine. I don't even care. I just want the court to understand that this is not what should have happened. And I would ask the court to go ahead and throw this whole probation violation out. Keep the no contact order. I have a TPO order that I need to be able to get to Oklahoma video to actually tell another court what I'm telling you now. Because the only reason she wants a TPO is because she messed up. And she fears that I'm going to be upset with her. It's my mother. She bought most of the stuff anyways. I don't care. But we did have a financial agreement, but I did not reach out to her. We have a financial agreement that she's been my primary caregiver because I have a mental health disorder that doesn't allow me to work. She's been paying my bills. It had no stipulation on whether I was good or bad. She's been paying my bills since my wife and I separated. And if you got my phone, I have plenty of cash apps and plenty of PNC accounts where she's made deposits for multiple things and multiple requests were made. She's been paying my bills since forever, since like 2023, I think, because that's when me and my wife separated. Now she's exiting out of her pretty much a verbal contract that I have text messages from. And now she's saying she wants a TPO and that she's not willing to pay anything of my bills and that she gave all my stuff away. So when I got to Hillspace and Miss Martinez said she was going to give me hygiene and food, which she never gave me, nor did she never give me a copy of the rules and regulations. Yes, I signed them, but I never got a copy of them. And I never got a no contact order from this court. The only 2 contact orders I have is from Corey Avenante, which is no longer there, and one from Magistrate Mobile. That's the only no contact I have. And I didn't contact her. Frankly, I didn't. I contacted my sister and I told her, I said, Samantha, you lied about my stuff being at this place. I'm getting kicked out because of it. And she said, that's what happens when you go to jail. And now I never said anything about cutting my ankle monitor off. That's an F3, which Miss Martinez and I don't know the other man's name. He underlined it, F3 prison if you cut it off. I would never cut your ankle monitor off. That's why I didn't.
Shut up!
So I would like to be either terminated and let go, because I've already sentenced 5 months of my life on this case, and now I have a TPO in order in Oklahoma. So even if I contact the victim, I'm going to go do a year in Oklahoma plus whatever time you give me. So it would never happen. And if you want to reinstate me, I'd be willing to go to a treatment center in this area. I looked into Woodhaven along as with the coach because I want treatment and I want help. I honestly don't want the ankle monitor on, but if you have to have the ankle monitor for the courts, I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for, just for them to be okay with me getting out and everybody's safety, I'm fine with that. But I promise I didn't purposely or maliciously violate your court order, nor would I ever. I really just want to go to treatment, and I want to get my mental health together, and I don't really have a substance abuse problem, and we went over that. This was really for more mental health. That's why I was going up there, not substance abuse. Just like I didn't use drugs, and I passed the drug test that you gave me. I don't use drugs anymore. Out of almost over 2 years, I've only used drugs for 3 weeks, and that's because in the AA book, it says if you feel like you can beat this disease, to go back out and try it. And I did it. And when I figured I couldn't.
Is there anything else then, Mr. McDaniel?
No, Your Honor, just
right.
that I would like to go to treatment. That's it.
All right, Ms. Tranter, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McDaniel, if you will recall, when you were here in front of me back on April the 27th, one of the things that I tried to have a discussion with you about was your demeanor.
Right.
And how aggressive you become. It's not a far stretch for me when I look at the state's exhibits and I read what the email said from Hillspace that you became agitated and aggressive. I'm not shocked.
I didn't, Your Honor.
Well, I know you're saying you didn't, except I have personally observed and tried to have a conversation with you about your aggressiveness.
They have video cameras there, Your Honor.
Okay. This is the way this is going to work.
I just want you to know that they have videos there.
Okay, that's not before me. This is the way this is going to work.
They don't have it.
I sat here and I listened to you with an open mind. You've had your opportunity. You've indicated that you had nothing else to add or say. So now it's my turn and
Go
my
ahead, Your Honor.
observation. Okay, thank you. The court at the time of your sentencing was torn whether just to send you to prison then or to give you this opportunity where you said you would thrive and have thrived at this Hillspace, where you've now been red flagged and forbidden to return because of your own actions. So the court is going to find that you have violated the terms of your community control. The court is going to find that this is not a technical violation of your community control, and that prison is now necessary to fulfill the purposes and the principles of sentencing, including punishment,
Awesome.
deterrence, and protection of the public.
Yep.
Probation would no longer adequately punish you and would demean what happened in this case. Prison is necessary because of your extensive criminal history and your failure to respond to previous community control sanctions.
Finally!
So, I am going to order you to serve 15 months in prison. Do we have a jail time credit?
15 months. It's more than the case it carries.
No, it's 18 months.
And I got 5 months in.
Okay, hang on. We'll get that number.
So you're
for you.
maxing me out.
I'll get it for you.
No, I said 15 months. I didn't say 18 months. 18
Oh.
months would have been maxing you.
Plus the 137 or 134 jail
Just
time
let
credit.
me finish my sentence, and then I'll
Go ahead,
ask you if
John.
you have any questions.
Go ahead.
So 134, Judge.
You got 134 days jail time credit,
Right.
15 months in prison. That jail time credit, court finds that you're indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial
Thank you, sir.
sanctions. All right, you're also subject to the discretionary post-release control, which means the adult parole authority may supervise you when you are released for up to 2 years. If you violate that supervision, the adult parole authority can return you to prison for up to 1/2 of the court's original sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer. That time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. Ms. Tranter, is there anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. McDaniel, best of luck to you,
How
sir.
many good days am I allowed to get?
Oh, I'm sorry, you could receive up to 1 day per month for participating in certain programs sponsored by the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Sweet. Now let's come to this.